Hello, everyone. There is a bad news for those people who are intending to consider retirement in Malaysia. So it all refers to the new MM2H visa framework that has been released. To listen on, please watch, and most importantly, to the last point because it's actually quite earth-shaking. According to Black Box Research and Qualtrics, one-third of Singaporeans now are considering retirement in Malaysia. And the main reason why is something we all know. Cost of living in Singapore is really very expensive. So that's quite an interesting development in terms of retirement in Malaysia. I didn't expect so many people to be interested in retirement in Malaysia. My move to buy a Malaysian house actually started even before everybody was really fanatical about this topic. But now more and more people are considering this, talking about this. Chat groups are formed. In fact, recently, I would say a significant part of my 1965 Telegram group is now going on this topic as well, retirement in Malaysia. And they're not just considering JB, they're considering Malacca, they're considering KL, Penang. Penang, I think, is the second hottest location, maybe because of the huge Chinese and population and the great food there. But there are some development right now in Malaysia that make this plan very difficult for everybody, and I'll give you solutions that I can think of to overcome this. So there is some new development that's happening in the Malaysian Parliament. The tourism minister just released a news and say that the framework has now been approved by the Malaysian government. And there are a lot of talks about this online right now. And, unfortunately, most of the documents released are actually in Malay. There's some people interpret it. I watched quite a few of this video in English and in Chinese as well, because I think there's a big pool of Chinese that are staying in Malaysia using the MM2H visa. So right now, this framework has been released, and there's some distinct difference from what was previously released. So number one, the Platinum 5 million ringgit class will not be offered PR. Remember, there are three classes, right? There is the silver, gold, and platinum. The platinum one, which you put $5 million in your fixed deposit, that was in exchange for a PR. Unfortunately, right now, that program will not offer you a PR. Well, fortunately, that class will allow you to engage in business, investment, activities, or employment in Malaysia. This class of MM2H visa allow you to do all these things, and the other class doesn't allow you to do all this activity. My take is this, okay? If you can offer 5 million ringgit, most likely, you can set up a company and work around the system. Yeah, I don't see why you need this PR, but maybe the Malaysian government had think through some other workarounds. I don't know. So under the platinum tier, the participant must put a fixed deposit of $5 million, and you can only withdraw 50% of it after 1 year. And what can you withdraw it for? Property purchase. Minimum value 1.5 million ringgit. Healthcare or domestic travel within Malaysia. In short, if you want to spend this $5 million, I allow you to spend half of it in Malaysia and not outside Malaysia. So fixed deposit rates, I think, are okay. The interest rate in Malaysia is quite okay. Hopefully, there's no depreciation. But to allow only 50% for property purchase, and what about those people like me who is already have a property, right? So we will not use it. To spend 2.5 million ringgit, you got to spend for over a long period of time for healthcare and domestic travel. So a lot of people are asking, what do you mean by domestic travel? Does domestic travel means you spend on food, on bus tickets, on domestic air travel, fuel, and then you claim using your receipts whatsoever. Details are not available, so nobody knows, and there's a lot of guessing right now. What should we do? So at this point in time, there's a lot of question mark. A lot of people are clouded, towards right now what's exactly in the details. The gold tier requires you to put up a fixed deposit of 2 million ringgit. Similar to the platinum tier, you can only withdraw 50% of it, okay, for property purchase, healthcare, and domestic travel, with a minimum value of 750,000 ringgit for property. But right now, property in Malaysia is so expensive. 750,000, not that big a deal. And there are a lot of restrictions on Singaporeans, on foreigners buying a property of a lower tier. So 750,000, not that big a deal. Similarly, a lot of people start asking, how do you verify it's healthcare? How do you verify it's domestic travel? The silver tier requires 500,000 ringgit in fixed deposit. Now, 500,000 ringgit is about 100 over $1,000 Singapore dollars. Not that big a deal. You get a 5-year visa, okay, for this, and then you can renew it. And there are also similar withdrawal provision. That's probably the one that most people are going to apply for, right? If it's just all this, it is okay. Yeah, if it's just all this, it's okay. But unfortunately, it is not okay because new things have came out in the new framework, and let's watch on. So the first thing that is most painful to some people like me who are treating Malaysia more like a holiday house, a holiday home rather than a permanent home is that you must accumulate 60 days annually. Okay, cumulative 60 days. So that's kind of difficult for me because I spend most of my time in Europe, and unfortunately, this is quite difficult to fulfill for me. I spend some time in Singapore, and maybe 1 month I spend 2-3 days, 2-3 days or 4 days in Malaysia. So I think if I take that times 12, I think it's kind of difficult. I'm not so sure whether, let's say, it's husband and wife, can you combine and make up the 60 days? Okay, even that I think I'll have some problem. Yeah, maybe if you can do that, maybe I can meet the 60-day requirement. But alone 60 days means every year you got to stay 2 months in Malaysia. That for me is quite difficult. But I think a lot of people actually won't find this a problem. But for me, that's a problem. I think that they have thought through some details why to put this, but this is quite reasonable because quite a lot of countries' visa have a minimum stay requirement as well. This is the one that is really damning. This latest news is the one that got everybody confused because it requires you to purchase a property from a developer newly built, okay, newly built. So this is a shocking news, right? Everybody is now confused over this news. It can't be that in order to apply for a visa, you can buy a new house, right? People like me already have a house, Do I have to buy a second house or things like that, right? So there's a lot of confusion right now. The whole MM2H chat group and Malaysian Singapore chat group are now having this question mark. Ding 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 ding. The foreigners, especially the Chinese, are shocked at this news. They're all having this like, how can it be kind of thing. And this clause is applicable for all three classes: silver, gold, and platinum. So this is a big news, big news. And not only that, right now, it's just been released, I think this morning, that MM2H needs to be now linked to the special economic zone. Okay, differentiated from silver, gold, and platinum, but linked to a special economic zone. I'm most afraid that this special economic zone means forest city. Who the hell want to buy forest city, right? So right now, it's one big question mark right now. They're trying to use MM2H to solve the forest city ghost town problem. And if this really is the outcome, then there are very few takers for MM2H. Then this MM2H will collapse for sure, right? So I think that's a very serious new development and shocking to a lot of people. But fortunately, everything is now still to be confirmed. Okay, because Malaysia is very popular for coming up with plans and then flip-flopping. We all know that. This is not a criticism of their country. This is more the culture of their policy making process. Maybe they launch a idea, get some feedback, and then tweak it and change it, and then that's how they improve. That's maybe their political culture and how policies are made. Okay, But if this is true at face value, then many people will probably not take up MM2H. For me, then I continue to treat like a holiday house, which is my original intention anyway. I think it's okay for most Singaporeans because you can then, stay a few days here, a few days there, they kind of get in and out. But I think a lot of people who wants to now stay longer term in Malaysia, if all these framework are coming to pass, then we will have an issue. Well, there are other options that are available. Number one is there is a very expensive PR program called PVIP. I think you spend a few $100,000 to apply for it. You can get an expensive PR visa. Details, I think I talked about it before. There is also an option for me because I have a Malaysian company. I can always get the Malaysian company to hire me. That officially, then I get a work permit. I can stay there for as long as I want. Okay, from what I understand, there's a short stay limit of 30 days in Malaysia for people who are just doing there for travel. Okay, may not be enough for a lot of people, but it's definitely enough for me because I don't have enough days in Singapore and Malaysia. But I think this is something that that people have to consider just to make sure you don't exceed that quota. As I said earlier, let's wait and see. Don't worry, everything is hot in the air and fluid. Things can change by the day, by the week, or by the month. So I wouldn't be too overly concerned. I think a lot of people are very concerned who are looking forward towards the MM2H visa. So let's wait and see, right? So I don't think it affect me that much because I have a lot of options, but I think for some people it certainly will. I say just watch this space and see how it goes. But this is indeed a big, wet blanket being thrown on. So I think let's see what the development is. Okay, let me hear your views. And let's see what's gonna happen in time to come. Remember to hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you also in my Telegram channel, Lu1965, where we can discuss this further. Thank you.